Hello. I've got something to share. I'm kind of excited. Um, I was just trying to watch another video or set of videos and I couldn't do it. Um, you might remember how a few days ago, not too many, it must have been a live journal. I don't remember. But I remember speaking about how I've lately posited the possibility that um, I've had these periods where I've been so happy and just almost high, not on anything. I don't take things or drink or smoke or any of that. Not that I never have, it's just not my habit anymore. But anyway, I've just gotten so happy. And as I was looking at it, I noticed the last couple of times this has happened, it was shortly after working my way through a lot of pain, just really crying the whole thing, working through some of the personal challenges that I've had in my life. And when I chose to just allow the feelings to be there and not to run and not to try to fix anything and not to listen to anything my head said about it, but just to be with it. In other words, just to feel it, just to be, just to allow the pain and the difficult feelings to just be and just watch them. And then I said it seemed that within 24 hours or so, I found myself so happy. It was just amazing. And I couldn't, I couldn't relate it to any other reason for feeling like that. And so a couple of you responded back, I put the video out there, and this wasn't the main purpose of it, but I remember asking, soliciting from you comments or responses if any of you had found this to be so in your life. And I know Empty O Grace responded that, and he really seemed to know what he was talking about, that he found that to be the case in his life as well. And I don't remember if any others did. But earlier tonight, I love Dimitri Halley's work. You know that. I recommend him a lot. And I'm just slowly, I worked through all of his playlists. And so I've been working my way up from the bottom of all of his uploads. And he has quite a few. Not as many as I do, maybe, but he has a lot. And I'm glad when you find somebody that you really enjoy their work. It's a lot of fun knowing you have a lot more yet to go. So anyway, I don't remember now if it was yesterday or today. I came across a video where he's explaining his method in answer to a comment, apparently. Somebody was asking him, well, how do you do what you do? What's the magic? What is this touching the shadow? What does that look like? And so he did a video on that, and then he did a follow-up one. So it amounts to two videos. And the thing that was exciting for me is and I'm going to botch it, folks, so I will put links to these two videos in the description field and in the transcript. But I'll explain my understanding of it. But I'm going to want you to go to the horse's mouth to really get a better understanding. But what I took away from it was that this is a duality where we live, and emotions are like that as well. So that if you have an intense happiness, an intense sadness, an intense anything, anger, whatever it is, that's only one of the polarities there. And that's an indication, as if we were on a teeter-totter, that we're not standing on the center of it. We're on one of the seats, on one end or the other. And what he said was that the emotion to be whole requires both. It includes both. And so he really put that together for me. And I got really excited because that's what I was finding when I would take the time and space to be willing to just be with some really intense pain, the kind that just, at first you maybe want to run from. But when I would do that, I would find this intense happiness would result within a number of hours later, a day. Maybe it's the next day or the day after or something. But anyway, shortly thereafter. And so I wrote to him and I said, hey, am I getting this right? Actually, I'm messing this up because when I first wrote to him, it was just a question about, well, how do you do that? How do you put the two together? You know? Um, so he wrote me back and said, you don't have to put the two together. You just stick with the sadness, the depression, whatever it is. But if the happiness comes up, you don't reject it. You realize that it's the wholeness, it's the completion of what you're working with. And then I got really excited and I wrote him back and I told him, oh, I've had this thing in my own life and I'm really excited that I think you just put it together for me. And he confirmed that understanding that, yeah, and the way you do it is this is me now. This isn't him anymore. The way you do it, from my understanding, is, I've been talking about embracing the shadow for a while and just being with your pain, giving it the right to be without trying to fix it, without trying to mentally understand it, without trying to rationalize it away, without trying to band-aid it over with some happy feeling or, make excuses for, without anything, nothing, just be, just hurt. Just sit there and frickin' hurt, And I just had to share it with you guys because anybody that's it's just such a blessing. It's a very special kind of happiness that comes. It's different. It's unique. It's not like somebody gave you something. It's not like happiness that comes for a reason that's anything mental. If you've ever been depressed, you know how sometimes you'll find yourself all of a sudden, for no freaking reason that you know about or understand or have a clue about, you'll find yourself crying. I for years I took antidepressants to help me make it through. And I was never so proud of myself as when, after years and years, I finally worked my way off the pills. I don't like medications of any kind for any reason. But I'm also practical. And, there's you just have to find your balance. Everybody has to find their own way through these things because what works for one isn't necessarily the answer for another. But I'm just so excited by this. And I guess I wanted you to be able to feel that. And get the sense of it here, how in my heart there is such rejoicing. I don't know. Am I looking up to an authority figure here just because the guy's got a degree and he's a practicing psychologist? I don't know. It feels really good. That's all. It feels really good to have this thing put together. And I'm not used to thinking of feelings in these terms. I've had them split off, like in the particle consciousness, where we've got to plow our way through the heavy-duty dark ones. We just have to do that. That's in the way, and happiness will come when it comes, or whatever. I'm not used to thinking of them as opposite poles of the same thing. And when you get a major piece to the puzzle, you just get excited. That's all. So that's what this is. Thank you, Dimitri. And everybody, I'll give you the links to those two videos. Bye-bye.